tell me I come from a pond full of scum, right here on a spinning blue ball. When spark from the sky made scum come alive, somehow it managed to thrive. Then the scum grew fins and learned how to swim, and swam upon the shore. From one to the next, species progressed. From that day on evermore. But not far in the past, from some monkey's ashes, how we find us here. The theory stinks, found no missing links. It's clear that none will appear. We're on a spinning blue ball. That's a lie they've been telling us all. Don't believe the things they say. Use your mind, find your own way. All the powers that be will show you what they want you to see.
Hey, it's Mitchell from Australia. Where are you? Like, it's been over a month. I haven't heard from you. I check your podcast page every day. There's just nothing. It's like you've just left. Like, you don't call? You don't write? Just getting your answering machine again. Is it me? God, it must be me. I'm sorry, I always do this. I come on too strong. I try to be overly nice. Like, I'm a nice guy. Just give me another chance. Pick up the phone. I know you're there. I know you're there. Don't hide from me. Pick up the phone. I love you. Bye. Hey, it's me again. Still haven't heard from you. I just can't get you out of my head. You drive me crazy. It's all I think about is just you. Dave, is it the transgender thing? Because I don't care, man. If you got an innie or an outie, I still love you the same. I just need to hear that voice. Please come back to me. I saw your mum at the shops the other day. I just didn't know what to say. Just give me an answer. Do you love me or not? Bye. Pick up the phone! You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see, Davy? Where the hell are you? I swear to God, if I come around your place and Jay's car's there, oh, help me God. What does Jay have that I don't have, huh? You know what, screw this, screw your games. I'm going to call Jaren and he's going to give me flat earth. Yeah, how do you like that, huh? Yeah, you forgot I got those photos of you too, don't you? Yeah, oh, you want to play games? You pick up this phone. I know you're listening. You're nothing, you hear me? Never been anything. Before we even met, I picked you up, put you on the flat earth pedestal, and now what do you repay me with, huh? Silence, nothing. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean it. Nobody does flat earth like you. Jaren, he doesn't mean anything. I mean, I like his videos, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. He could stick a whole box of tissues up his nose and he still wouldn't have a beautiful nasally voice like you do. I just need you. Come back to me. I love you. Bye. Davy, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Because I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always, CJ. Do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Because I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always. Boys, this is what happens when you don't do a podcast for a month. Don't let it happen again.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Flat Earth Podcast. I am your co-host for now, Matt Long, and with me as always is Dave from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Dave, it's only been 6 months since our last episode, and I'd say it feels like we need another one.
Yeah, I mean, we're right on track for a biannual podcast as Mitchell, which everyone just heard, our crazy caller. I think he put a hex on us. He forced us to go longer, hoping for more Mitchell calls.
Yeah, so I think if anyone wants to blame anyone, it could be Mitchell.
Yeah, and speaking of Mitchell from Australia, YouTuber, due to the craziness going on in this world and his refusal to comply with Jabba Jabba Doo, he has left his job and is doing Flat Earth School full time, every day, live show. Mitchell from Australia, and he's trying to find a way to support him and his 5 kids. We're going to get into the 5 kids thing in a second. It's been 6 months. How many more kids do you have?
Right.
I figured 2.
Yeah.
So just finishing up, Mitchell from Australia. There'll be a link in the description. Everyone check his show out. He just goes out into nature every day and talks about the Flat Earth School that we live in and how amazing and clear it is. And it's really a great show. And I advise people to join the live chat or listen after. It's also linked in the app on the web button page. You'll see Flat Earth School with Mitchell. Check it out. Go ahead, Matt.
That's really great. I know a lot of people would be looking for that. Reminds me of, you're talking about the children. I was watching something on the television and it showed a guy named Nick Cannon, who's an actor. Anyways, they were talking about how he had 7 kids. And I thought, well, that's amazing, because we've got a big family and he's got a big family. That's great. But then I found out that the last 4 have been born in the last 9 months to 4 different women. So.
Well, that's the way to get it done. Is that something that Matt Long might be looking into?
No,
Okay.
Matt does not subscribe to that.
Okay.
One thing we failed to mention, Dave, as we entered the show, because you just jumped right to Mitchell, and that was like number 4 or 5 on my list, is this is episode 150.
150. Why is it episode 150, Matt, when I can only count 50 episodes?
Well, Dave, if you're familiar with the timeline deception or anything like that, you know that you simply add a 1 to everything you do.
That makes
maybe
sense.
Maybe dive into that a little bit for people that aren't familiar.
Yeah, so our history appears to have 1,000 years added to it to help fit the controller's story of what this place is, which is nothing. Those of you that are regular listeners. All of our history is a lie. We're supposed to believe we're at the tip top of intelligence of what do you call it? Progress. Where this is the pinnacle of society, and we're only getting smarter and smarter. I used to say that we are on the doorsteps of the movie Idiocracy, but I think we're about an hour into the movie Idiocracy.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up a point about the state of the world, and it is quite like, I can't imagine when we started this podcast or when I joined you on the podcast that we would be at this point only a short time later.
What point? What's wrong with the world? The world is amazing right now. Everything is fine. It's still flat. At least we're not spinning, flying through space. Imagine that. I mean, just imagine that. If you look at the world and you go, all right, now we're on a speck flying to an infinite, godless universe. That would be a lot worse.
You're right. That would be a lot.
All right. So you got to take things in comparison, right?
Yes, you're exactly right.
It's not like you can, we're having difficulty traveling across borders or anything like that, or, have to do all sorts of crazy things. But
yes, it's invading my dreams lately. I had a dream I was trying to fly somewhere and some schmo was trying to get me to, put something in my arm, and it was quite the confrontation. I tell you what, Dave, I've gotten really good at confrontation over the last year and a half. That's been fun.
Awesome. Yeah. We were talking offline about different things that people can do, and there are different things people can do that we can't talk about here. So right. Everybody can figure them out. But my if I have to fly, and I have yet to put on a face diaper for anything other than the bandana I had to use when my daughter had her operation last year. But I have a Plandemic, very breathable neck gaiter that I would wear to get on the aircraft. And then I would just throw a blanket over my head and sleep the whole way. So they can't even see my face. Just throw a blanket over my head and sleep. I don't think they can say anything if you do that, right?
That's true. They allow you to eat without one. So I saw a deal with a guy who had a thing of Pringles, and he calculated how many chips per minute he would need to eat in order to not wear his mask the entire time, which I think is great.
Yeah, but if that's a long flight, he could possibly die from the number of Pringles he has to eat. I do
That's
it with
true.
organic sunflower seeds, little healthier option, and
That would be
and
better.
you never get full. If you eat sunflower seeds one at a time, you can never get full.
I don't know if I don't know if I have enough self-control to only eat one at a time for that long.
I actually did it on a flight to Florida for 3.5 hours. I was eating one at a time.
Awesome.
It
Well,
was good.
we talked about the state of the world, but you were mentioning a gentleman who did a video or a talk on the 5 zones of the world. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it was an old article that was sent to me, and it talks about, the proof that the Earth is flat is very simple. If we're on a tilted ball and we're orbiting the sun, and it's the tilt of the Earth that creates the seasons, then we'd have equal light day and night and equal seasons in the north and the south, just 6 months apart at equal latitudes. So he breaks it out, and it's very simple. And for our regular listeners and us, we all know this, but there's 5 zones of the Earth. So we have the northern center, where at the very center of our world, it's dark for 6 months and it's light for 6 months. Did you know that? I think you knew that.
Yes. Yeah, I knew that.
So think about it. That works on a ball, and it works on does it work on a ball, on a tilted ball? I don't know if it works on a tilted ball, to be honest.
They say it does.
Yeah, they say it does. So that's 6 months of light and 6 months of dark. Then the next zone is the northern temperate zone. This is where all the powerful nations live, the most industry is. I guess it's the preferred zone for some reason. And that's where, everybody in the northern temperate zone, we have our full seasons. We have, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And it's very desirable.
It's something like 80 or 90% of the people live north of the equator or something like that.
Yeah. So that's where, that's where it's going down. And then the next zone is called the torrid zone, or the tropical zone. It's hot there always. The sun is always over it. Always. The sun's body does not move out of this zone to any great extent. But it's always
right. It only goes to the Tropic of Cancer or Capricorn. That's the furthest it goes.
Right. And maybe and I've seen some evidence that it does sometimes migrate a little farther out or a little farther in, but that's basically it. I don't know if there's a hard line. I don't know if it changes in cycles, but it's very interesting. And because the sun is always there, it's always very, very warm there. And then the 4th zone is the torrid zone. No, that's the one. The 4th zone is the southern temperate zone. And it's very similar to weather in the north. Day and night is very similar, and the temperature is very, very simple, very similar. Okay.
There we go.
And then the last one is the southern circle. It's dark and icy. Nobody has ever crossed it. It's the edge of our world, and it's very dangerous to life. It's dark. When the sun, and the one of the difference between the southern zone and the northern center is when the sun moves out towards the southern zone, we still have long nights out there, very long nights. Unlike in the north, the nights are 8 hours. In the northern zone. Where was I?
Northern temperate zone.
Yeah. So when the sun moves near it, the nights are longer, and then in the north, they're about 8 hours in the north. The north is lighted for about 6 months, unlike the south, right? So the south should have 6 months of light and 6 months of day, but it doesn't.
If we're on a ball, it should, yes.
Yeah, we're on a ball. It should. And then again, trying to circumnavigate the north versus circumnavigate the south, which is just going east and west, which is a circle, you can't do it. Captain Cook tried it. It took him 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles versus a very short distance in the north.
Correct.
Interesting stuff. I think that if people just look at that, it's undeniable. But again, these are zones that we're not allowed in. Oh, you can go to the south, to Antarctica, but you can't. You can spend a ton of money to go on a little guided tour, and you're never allowed to explore. You're never allowed to stay there long enough to see anything. You're never allowed to explore the outer range. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the thing about that is it's not just Antarctica that's off limits. It's anything below the 60th parallel, which is an insane amount of space. Like, that is a lot of water and land that is off limits. And yes, people have gone to Antarctica. In fact, one of my parents' neighbors went, and he mentioned how you're only allowed to have 10% of people off the boat at any one time, which is really weird.
Oh, I didn't even know that. They only allow
Yeah.
a certain number off the boat. And then,
Right.
And what happens when you're off the boat?
You go shake some penguins' hands and, walk around. You probably go touch the little pole that's in the ground that they say is the South Pole. I'm not sure. You know what? I don't think you actually go to the South Pole on one of those cruises, but
yeah, you definitely don't. You go to a ceremonial pole, which they even admit. People say, if it's so big, like you say, how do they stop people from going? If it's that big, they can't stop people. Well, you ever hear of radar and patrols and whatnot? People don't realize there's islands all around the South Pacific, and there's 8 islands, including with the military bases on it in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, British Indian Ocean Territory, St. Helen and Tristan, Southern Georgia, Sandwich Islands, the Falkland Islands. Everybody remembers that war. What was that about? And the Pitcairn Islands. These are islands that basically, if you looked at the world like a clock, the world's a clock, and you put an island at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, that's where these islands are, right near the edge, and they all have military bases. So they all patrol their area, and nobody can get near Antarctica.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, my dad used to say that even if the world wasn't flat, there's something weird going on in Antarctica. The whole thing is strange. It also, I think that the weather is so inhospitable. I think I tried to combine those two words. As you go further and further south, that you almost don't have to patrol it, because if the amount of supplies and that you would have to take with you to get all the way out there and all the way back, I think would just be almost impossible.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And it's also your compass doesn't work there, and there's no GPS. How do you navigate? It's not easy.
You're not going to be able to navigate by the sun or the stars because you don't know how they work down there.
Right. And wait, how come, if the Earth is flat, Matt, how come you can't see the North Star?
Oh, Dave.
It's too far away, and it merges into the atmosphere. That's it. It's so easy. I need to make a video showing how just everything merges into that atmospheric layer of opacity.
You know how many times a day I think, I need to make a video?
Yeah.
Well, you bring up the fact, Dave, that the world is a clock, and there's proof of that because there's something called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Is that right? I think it's our sponsors app.
That is absolutely true. And my newest feature, which is the Flat Earth Friend Finder, do you know what inspired me to make that feature, to finally do that feature? I'll give you a hint. The person's name rhymes with lying box. That would be Brian Cox, the fake astronomer who said nobody, as far as he knows, has ever thought the Earth was flat, except every culture before NASA, every religion before NASA. And I call NASA religion.
Yeah, now I recall the video that you made with his words while you were scrolling through all the little dots on the app. And just for some background, if people don't know, that on the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, there is now a friends finder, a way to message, all kinds of awesome stuff. And David texted me yesterday thinking it was the end, that all social media was down. And I wrote back and said, all social media is not down if the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is still up.
Yeah.
So give us a rundown on the new messaging and friend finder.
There's as of today, there's 22,500 maybe active users on the friend finder, which is a blast. We're going through a little update where right now I need everyone to update to the current version, which actually locks your ability to zoom out and see the entire United States or anything of that size, which just needs to be done temporarily until the next update, because we're incorporating the Google clusters, which will, when you zoom out, there's no need to see individual dots where we cluster them together. That update's coming next week, hopefully. And right now, the other thing I added is I added a flag in the bottom corner. So you click that flag, scroll to whatever country you want, search for whatever country you want, click it, and it'll bring you right to that country. Makes navigating really easy. And then the next feature, as soon as enough people update to this and I can make the next update, is the group messaging, which is going to be a blast because you can set your radius to, 5 kilometers, 50 kilometers. It'll tell you how many people are in there. Right now, I have like 160 people within 50 kilometers, and you can send a group message to all of them. Hey, meet up at, Joe's Bar and Grill in Stamford, Connecticut, Saturday at 3, and then bam, you have 150 local people that can show up.
Yes, that's awesome. And you had mentioned to me that you've disabled reply to all, so you don't get stuck on those giant group messages, right?
Yeah. No reply to all, because that would be absolutely insane. Everyone will just, you'll get lost. And the other thing, if anyone starts abusing, like, hey, I'm just going to keep messaging everyone in this circle, everyone has the ability to block anyone that's messaging them. If someone's sending you messages that are just annoying you for whatever reason, I don't think that's really has happened yet. You can just block it and then it goes away and there's no problem. The reply to all would be a nightmare.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sounds really awesome. You've done a great job. The only thing that I think I would request at some point on an update is the ability to look at it in portrait mode.
I can't do that. I can't, because everything changes. I literally tried to do that, and there's a few Android phones that actually try to flip it, and it causes so many problems. Can't do it. But I did make the chat portrait mode because I hate typing in chat in landscape.
Right. Wow. Okay, well, cool. Well, we are all really excited about the app. We just love what it's evolved to, and I think it's amazing.
So I've been getting so many reports of people meeting up, people that were like, I've been so alone, being a flat earther, could be a lonely thing if you don't have any friends. And it's like, I found somebody 2 blocks from me. They're now like hanging out, talking. People are hooking up and all over the place. There was a meetup in Arizona. I think there was like 30 people showed up, all blue dots that were invited to a meetup. So somebody took the effort there.
Awesome.
And I'm working on changing the color of your dot to show that you may be a meetup organizer, or that you may have a social media profile on the app, which are things that are going to come up in the future. Not now. Don't email me saying you can't find that stuff because it's not there yet.
Yeah, I was wondering where my check mark was.
Yeah, the official check mark.
Yeah, to get verified.
Yeah, you know what? That's the other thing is my developer is in India, so he comes on at like 11:30 p.m. my time and leaves at like 10 a.m. my time. I haven't slept in 3.5 years, Matt. And every time I think I'm done with this app, I was like, wait a minute, I got another good idea. Okay, so. The whole check mark idea, that's a whole nother thing. That's actually a very interesting idea.
Sleeping is for the weak anyways.
Sleeping is for ballers, right? I always say
that. Yes. Well, you bring up a point that it is a small world once you start seeing how close all your soon-to-be friends are, and it can be a small, lonely world if you buy into what the world is talking about right now. But if that's the great thing about flat earthers is you're going to be in contact with someone who's not afraid to shake your hand, not afraid to give you a hug, and not afraid to hang out and talk about the insanity of this place.
You know what? Oh, go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. No. Go ahead.
So real quick. So when you click on a blue dot, whether you're meeting a guy or a girl, a friend, romantic, whatever it is, whatever you have more in common with that person than anyone you'll ever randomly meet anywhere. Even I believe if you went to like a dating site, I don't think you're going to find somebody there that has as much in common with you as any blue dot on that list. It's amazing how much flat earthers have in common. And the biggest story I'm getting now of people, they're like, yeah, I found so-and-so and we met, we went to the bar and we hung out, we talked for 5 hours and we didn't even talk about flat earth.
Yeah, that's right? Amazing.
It's like my biggest, like when I get bookings for my interviews and I have one of the questions is, do you think the earth is flat, a ball, unsure? And anyone that puts flat and stationary, I'm like, oh man, what am I going to talk about with this person? It's like I do these interviews with hostile people that think flat earth is stupid. I'm so excited to go in. I'm not nervous at all. And then, like, I'm doing a podcast with you, and I'm like, oh, what are we going to talk about?
we've talked about it all. It's funny. Yeah, I mean, for people that don't know, I met my wife at a Flat Earth conference in 2018, and we were married in 4 months. Like, it was, when you meet a flat earther, you start on a different level relationship-wise.
You start beyond the point that many people get married, I think.
Maybe beyond the point that normal people get to.
Maybe that is very good. I mean, there's so much in common. It's mind blowing. So couples get bored. What happens with like flat earth couples? Do they get just overwhelmed? Like there's too much to do. There's too much to talk about. There's too many things that we agree upon. I don't know.
Well, so I was going to bring up a small world story that I had.
Bring it.
I was listening to the radio to a program where people call in and ask questions and the pastors answer them. It's called To Every Man an Answer. And I was listening and there was a local pastor on from my area I don't know if he's a regular on there now or not, but someone asked a question about flat earth and I didn't hear the question. I got back into the car, turned it on, and they were talking about flat earth, pretty hostile. And they were talking about how flat earthers, they don't do any research. They don't like science. They're, all the normal reaction stuff. And I was just so turned off because I used to really like this program. I like both the guys that answer questions on there, but their hostility towards flat earth was just brutal. And this guy, his name's Jeff, Pastor Jeff, was talking about how someone had given him a book and there's still people out there that write books on these things. And
this guy's a pastor?
They actually believe it. And this guy's a pastor and he's a local pastor. I've never met him. So I'm walking in a store with my oldest daughter, and she's talking about how her grandparents go to this certain church. And I was like, oh, I just heard that pastor talk on the radio about how he thinks flat earth is stupid, basically. And she says, yeah, well, my grandparents are good friends with him. Like they hang out with them, they do dinner, things like that. And I was like, oh, really? And then come to find out that her grandmother had given him one of my books. And so I was listening to him talk about how someone had handed him a book and it was my book.
Nice. Very good. Did you send him Dear Pastor?
I have not had any correspondence with the guy. I would love to sit down with him because I know he hasn't read it, because if he had read it, he would at least know that there's something behind our theory and not talk about it the way he talked about it on the radio. So yes, I'd love to sit down with him and just say, look, give me 30 minutes. I just want you to not be hostile. You don't even have to retract what you've said. You don't have to mention it. I just want you to know that we're not just
to not be ignorant.
Yes. Yes.
Send them Dear Pastor by Woketown.
Yeah, that's a good video. I'll send them that one. I should rename it I should rename it Dear Pastor Jeff.
Dear Pastor, that would be nice. Just make a little special upload for him. That would be awesome.
Yes.
You should be able to customize videos for different pastors.
Yeah,
I like
you
it.
know how you have that bulk email and it sends it out and it says, "Hey Matt."
Yeah.
They need bulk video.
Yeah, bulk video with changing titles. Very nice.
Yes.
I had another comment I was going to make, but it just escaped me. Oh, so Dear Pastor, which leads to do not watch this video, which leads to the 7-minute woke out, which is your 7-minute elevator pitch. You like that, right? That was good.
Yes.
So I featured Matt's video called the 7-minute elevator pitch, so flat earth pitch, whatever. And I called it the 7-minute woke out. Well, Cyman Dan, which we call Byman Dan, he quickly made a hit piece on you. Did you get a lot of troll comments on your video?
So when you sent me that, I was with my daughter and I wasn't about to watch it in front of her and let her see some guy rip me apart, especially some guy with a British accent.
It was pathetic.
But yes, I think it's like the third or fourth video that he's caught on. What I came away with was that he obviously has the app because it was very shortly after it came out on the app. So congratulations. Yeah. To that, but
he's not a subscriber. I'd like him. I need him to be a subscriber so he can send me a message on the app. Actually, I don't want him to be a subscriber, and I'll pay him to get rid of the app.
Well, he's been messaging people weird like arithmetic questions.
I know.
You get one of those? I got one.
I got one of those. so desperate, so dumb, and it's just pathetic that YouTube serves him up to anybody looking for flat Earth. So,
oh my goodness, yeah, it does. Yeah, if you type in flat Earth, he's one of the channels that comes up. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
You know, the 7-minute.
Good.
So I was just gonna say the 7-minute woke out, the 7-minute elevator pitch that I have. The only problem is if someone comes out with a 6-minute woke out.
That could be a problem. I'm going to go for the 1-minute woke out. 1-minute woke out.
You want in?
I think I made a video a long time ago. I got to look it up. It'd be a good one to feature. I think it was like a 10-second video. It was like a 10-second video.
I've got a 1-minute in there, but a 10-second.
Yeah.
I think 10 seconds would be similar to your pitch to Danny Faulkner about the reason that we know flat Earth is true is because we have flat Earth hot sauce.
And I dropped it on the table.
It wasn't a mic drop. It was a sauce drop.
Sauce drop. Yeah, that was at the first conference. Danny Faulkner was sitting at a table, and people were trying to argue flat Earth with this complete and total shill. I'll just call it the way I see it. And they brought me in, and I was trying to bring some stuff up, and it's just a total glober, nonsense. And I used that as my mic drop. I showed him the hot sauce, dropped it on the table, and I walked away.
It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good times.
That's
hey,
awesome. Well, Dave,
getting back to the 10-second video, anybody listening that has an idea for the shortest possible flat Earth video that hits home, send it to me. Even if you don't have a big channel, you have 0 subs, send it to me. And if it's good, I will feature it on the app, and you'll get a couple thousand views on it and some subs and jumpstart your channel. So send it to info@theflatearthpodcast.com. And it's short and to the point.
I'll be sending one.
You'll be sending one. Awesome.
I'll be sending one. Yes.
Awesome.
I'm gonna take a minute video and put it at 10x.
Oh, you can. That's actually allowed. I will allow that.
Oh man. Well, do we have any speak pipes this week?
I
say this week. What do you call it when you say this?
This season? What do you call? You got your 4 seasons. What's a half a year? This biannual?
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Now, if I was smart, I would have pulled up the speak pipes ahead of time and got ready. So
all right, well, let's do an outro.
let's take a little break, and then we'll be back with some speak pipes. No idea. Haven't checked them since the last episode. And we'll start with the newest first. How's that?
Sounds great.
All right. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
My fellow Americans, when will you be getting for yourself, your family, and friends the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app? I need you to get this. It's so important. It tells us where we are and who and why. Now, and here's the point. We're all in different places. Where's the sun? Why is the moon there? They say it. We live on a flat plane. Got to get this on your phone. The Apple or Android. Listen to this. Kids love it. And I love kids. Do this for yourself, for your family. Go get the Flat Earth, Sun, and Moon Zodiac Clock. Ask for it by name. I thank you all. I'm happy to take questions. What is the Flat Earth Podcast? Come on, man.
Folks, Alex Jones here, just reminding everybody that we've got a huge special on the website on mental force. Right now, you buy 2 bottles, you get 1 for free, and if that's not a deal you can't beat with a stick, I don't know what is. So if you're looking for mental clarity, something to clear the cobwebs, to focus, mental force is the answer. The other answer, in addition to mental force, is, well, just take a daily dose of the Flat Earth Clock app. You can get it on the iTunes Store, Android. It's available for all phones. Go ahead and install that. And every day, get up, check the video of the day on the Flat Earth Clock app. It's incredible. It's your dose of truth. Helps you think clearly. Between that and the mental force, that will empower you to look into the eyes of the globalist and tell them, hey, no more. We're tired of you trying to take our guns. We're tired of you trying to put poison into our infants. We're tired of you poisoning the water supply. And we're tired of you telling us what shape the world that we live on is. Mental force, 2, buy 2, get 1 free. And the Flat Earth Clock app, get them both. Think clearly. All right, back with more later.
Hello, listeners. Donald J. Trump here with tremendous news for everybody. This is so good. You know, I love listening to you guys. We got the Air Force. We got the Space Force. And now I'm announcing, I was just joking, and then we said, what a great idea. We're going to have the Flat Earth Force. Flat Earth Force. This is so important. Tremendous stuff for all mankind. And Dave, I want you're going to be heading up the Department of Domeland Security. Going to do such a good job. Matt, too, you're going to be there as well. Melania keeps asking, where's Jay? She loves his voice, you know. I say, honey, it's okay. Jay's gone to China. He's in China right now. But he'll be back soon, I'm sure. The Flat Earth Podcast, making America flat again. China is flat too, right? It's flat. I love you guys. Keep it up. Great job.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Alex here from the Conspiracy Music Guru YouTube channel, aka Flat Earth Man. I've taken a new direction musically. I sent Bob from Globebusters one of my tracks, and this is what he had to say about it.
As soon as it started playing, I just got this incredibly warm feeling. It absolutely just touched me in a way that I can't even describe. It almost brought a little bit of a tear to my eye, and when I played it for Cammie, it did. It made her just out and out cry. I mean, she was so touched and moved by it. This shows a side of Alex which I had no idea. I knew he was a fabulous artist, but wow. I can hardly wait to hear the rest of the album. If it is half as good as the track Heart that he sent me today, it's going to be amazing. Really, really beautiful work.
Well, Bob clearly loved it, and you can hear why this album is resonating with so many at conspiracymusicguru.com. You can preview all the tracks there, and they're all recorded in 432 Hz, and also using solfeggio healing frequencies. I hope you love it as much as Bob did.
was actually easy to get a hold of you. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. So big shout out to our friend David Weiss for making the connection, because without him, this probably would not have happened. So thanks, David, as always. By the way, your hot sauce is amazing.
Screw David, man. I can't stand that guy.
And Alex, thank you so much.
I can't say anything bad. He gave me hot sauce recently, so I got to know.
Screw David, man. I can't stand that guy.
And me and DITR Dearth, the Flat Earth guy, we've been texting. We're doing the stream this week. He's an awesome guy. So that's happening.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society, but we always have time for the Flat Earth Podcast. Those cats are pretty cool.
All right, welcome back, Dave. We were going to jump to some speak pipes. How we looking over there?
So it's been a half a year since our last show. I have not looked at speak pipes, and looking, I have one from 14 hours ago, and 5 days ago. There's a few, so I have no idea how many there are. So all of you that left speak pipes, unfortunately, speak pipes are like raw chicken. They have an expiration date. So we're going to go as far back as we can, starting with the first one. This is from Basingstone Bear. Basingstone Bear. Here we go.
Okay, so I have two questions. I love the podcast. I've been following it. I binged all of them. I found you guys from Owen Benjamin. Anyway, how is it possible with like the tornadoes spinning on different sides? This is a question that really stumped me in a conversation I had with a globe earther. Like how do they spin one side on one side and a different on the other side? In the same way that like faucets spin in different ways on either side. Do you understand? All right. And then the other one is how does atmosphere work on without gravity? Like how do we have different layers of atmosphere? All right. Thank you. Please make a new podcast soon.
So that was three things, and we've already done the third one.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yes.
So let's just talk
about essentially Coriolis, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
One. So you're the expert. Let's hear it.
Well, you actually did a great one. I think you did one on Coriolis, but the faucets do not spin in opposite directions in different hemispheres. You can have toilets in the same house that spin in different directions. It's all the way the water goes into the basin. And so those hoaxers that you see at the equator are just, it's a little trick how they get the water to spin in different directions as they walk 10 feet out to the other side of the equator. Complete and total nonsense. I never thought about tornadoes because I don't know that tornadoes, I don't even know where tornadoes happen in the South. Do they happen in the same regions in the South, Matt? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's referring to hurricanes.
Yeah. So hurricanes happen outside of the tropics and they spin in opposite directions. And that's because the wake of our sun and moon and the ether spinning around the circle of our Earth. It's just like pushing a paddle through the water. Do that. Just do it with your hand to get it. Fill your sink up, your bathtub up. Push a paddle through it, and you'll see alternate turning vortices. Now, on a spinning ball, they say, that's how it works. Well, there's many times where we have storms in the north that are spinning in the wrong direction, in the south that are spinning in the wrong direction. That's impossible on a ball, but it makes perfect sense on a flat Earth. On my app, if you go to the weather widget, I have one of the buttons which has the weather map, and just check out the different altitudes. You'll see these circling trade winds, beautiful circles versus the crazy sine wave that they want us to believe happens on a ball. And look off of them and you'll see alternate turning vortices going off of these winds, just like that. Even when you blow air, if you blow air through smoke, you'll see on the outside of that stream alternate turning vortices.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to refer to. I was going to refer people to the app, which has that great shot from above the flat Earth on how the currents and the atmosphere. Well, I was going to say you get those perfect almost circles around the North Pole. His other question is about the layers of atmosphere, probably referring to the gradient, which ball earthers love to say proves the ball. But again, we have, excuse me, trying to not choke here. We have an explanation for that. So it's very similar to the globe, but tell us about the layers of atmosphere.
Well, air pressure can't exist without a container. Pressure needs a container. And so if you have a big container of gases, at the bottom of the container, the gases are thicker than at the top of the container because they level out. They weigh it. The heavier ones go down, the more dense ones go down. So wait, more dense? You're talking about gravity? No, we're not talking about gravity as the way they tell it. There is something that says, hey, down is this way. Zach Zambala from Good Times for All channel, he showed that there is the negative charge of the Earth attracts things to it, and it's a weak force, just like they say gravity is a weak force. He took a experiment. He took a Mylar balloon and he floated like a little metal pin on it, which was just floating, a couple inches off the floor, and it had a wire to it. And he hooked it up to his Van de Graaff generator, and it's just neutrally floating there. And when he added a stronger negative charge to it, it got heavier. So that there is an experiment showing you that the negative charge could be what's causing the downward push or pull, whatever you want to call it. What do you think?
That's very interesting, as when you think about satellites and the balloons that they use to make satellites. So they could be a combination of helium and some form of electric charge that actually makes them sit at a higher altitude than they normally could get to. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. The negative charge, the charge of them, if you look into spider ballooning, spiders shoot a web into the air and then they charge it to give themselves lift, and they fly all around the world. They fly across oceans with what they call electrostatic ballooning.
Interesting.
Next
interesting.
one.
Okay, well.
Oh, go ahead. Anything else?
No, I was just saying, let's go to the next one.
This one's from Jim Locklund.
Dave, who is the other guy that is offering $1 million for globe proof?
That would be Flat Earth Millionaire, who is on the podcast with Hibbler Productions. And I highly recommend watching the Hibbler's channel on Rockfin. Anyone that's not on Rockfin, if you're looking for truth, that's the place to find it. And Hibbler has a great podcast. And one of the people on it is Flat Earth Millionaire, who's offering, I think it is $1 million for one globe proof.
Yeah, I like Flat Earth Millionaire. I like how he calls all the Globers peasants.
Next one is from Joe.
Hello, Dave. My name is Joe. I'm trying to watch videos or ascertain more information about the advanced civilization you were talking about with one of the podcasts. I think they were the Latorians. If you could please send me any information on how to watch, listen, or find out more about that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks for everything, Dave. Keep up the good work.
Matt, what would be your answer to that? Where is the best place to find stuff on mud floods in Tartaria for beginners?
Well, I think there's a really good spot on the app. Am I right?
Absolutely. On the app, on the Flat Earth Sun Moon. Absolutely. The on the web button page, bottom right corner, Mud Floods Tartaria. Great videos there. We keep adding more to the top of the list. And if you like a video, subscribe to that channel, and then you'll find tons more videos. If you hit that button, just bring food and water and let your boss know that you won't be in for a week because you're going to be busy.
So what about specifically, he asked about the Laotians, right?
He asked about
Latorians or something?
I don't have any specific information on that, but these channels lay out all the information and you can make up your own mind.
Yeah, I was joking about the Laotians, but I watched an interesting video yesterday on how all the states got their names in the United States, which has always fascinated me. How you have like these places that had like Native American names, and then the name became the name of a river, and then the river became the name of the territory, and eventually the territory became a state. So that's how you have the state has its name. And one of the interesting things is, while Texas was under the control of Mexico, the territory was called the New Philippines. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. This is very interesting stuff. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just getting into this. Is many people are probably into this already. Is Mount Rushmore with the president's faces? Those are not